Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. We got a little snow last night. Oh, about 7 inches, maybe 8. Good, wet, packing down kind of snow. Probably won't last too long. We're supposed to be up in the mid to upper 40s, I think, tomorrow or the next day. So I suspect this won't be a long-lived snow, but it's fun to get out in. It certainly is beautiful, and the kids will definitely have fun for a few days. Oh, I've got so many thoughts bouncing around in the noggin, and we have and I'm not giving away too much information, but we have a men's Bible study for our physical, real-life community on Tuesday nights, usually every other Tuesday, and had that last night. And it's kind of like our little thing that recharges us, It kind of refills the batteries kind of thing. But anyways, we talked about how we are meant to be like lions, as men specifically, but also as believers. And how, pretty much all the problems in this world could be probably traced back to the fact that, men aren't behaving and believers aren't behaving as lions anymore. We're not going out there and calling the herd and standing up for principles in the way of taking out and defeating all those hyenas that's constantly coming at us with their filth and their vileness. We back away now. We give in and we let them take the ground. And I think you could easily make a case that the problems that we are facing in the world today is very likely because of that. It's time for men. This is partly specifically at men, but also as believers. It's time for us to stop playing around. It's time for us to stand up, stand firm, be heard, be loud, and be ferocious. The day of the gentleness is kind of over. There's been too much gentleness. And not saying that being gentle and kind is a bad thing, because it's not in the appropriate context, but we have been too gentle for too long. We've been too quiet for too long. And it's time that we as men stand firm in our home, in our communities, and not be afraid of being attacked by the hyenas in the world, because that's going to happen whether you like it or not. I mean, it happens anyways. Why not take a stand against it? Stand firm, knowing that you may be attacked, you may be beaten down, you may be called everything that you could imagine and canceled and all the other terms that they use today. But what matters is that you are standing up for truth, for righteousness, for godliness, and then we're standing together also. Last night in our Bible study, I talked about how, as men especially, but all of us, I'm not singling out the women, I'm just making a point, that we have to be willing to be there for each other. And not just be willing to be there for each other, but take that help when it's available. And it could be physical help, mentally, spiritual, being there for each other, whatever it is. Because there's so much going on in the world today. There's so much evilness. There's just, it's everywhere. It's so pervasive that we shouldn't be out there facing it all alone. A lion is a very powerful creature, but you get a 10 or 12 hyenas on top of it, and it may not be able to last. It may just, get taken down by several hyenas, and that's how they do things. And we need to remember that no matter how strong we think we are, we're just one person. And we need to be there for each other and stand up for each other. That's why bonds and brotherhood and friendship and family, I'm not talking just blood relation, I'm talking about family. Why it's so important. That's why community is so important. The world that we live in now is very different than the one that you grew up in. Not even close to the same. Simple truths that have never ever been questioned before. No one's ever questioned some of these things. Even the most evil of people don't question these things, and yet now it's not just questioned, it's being completely thrown out. And these ridiculous new ideas that are complete pure evil, they're now becoming the standard, right? We see the results of all this acceptance and tolerance of evil in our world. We see that by everything. Everything is connected in that way. The debt, the economy, the geopolitical state of the world, the supply chain, the disease, how the earth is behaving with the increase in earthquakes and flares and from the sun and all that kind of stuff. It's all, in my opinion, it's all because of the evilness of this world and the evilness of man. Too long and too many years, the lions of this world have been quiet, been beat down too much, told that our opinions don't matter, that we're out of touch and out of style and archaic, that we're toxic, that it's misogynistic, it's patriarchal. It's time to not let those names mean anything to us. It's time to stand up, stand firm, and be heard. Biologists, they refer to lions as keystone predators. You know what a keystone predator means? It's an apex predator, but it's key to its ecology. It's key to its environment. And what that means is lions don't go out and kill lots and lots of animals. They go out and they kill the weak ones. They cull the herds. They keep the herds down. They keep them moving. If they didn't do that, the things that lions ate would take over the savanna. They'd eat all the grass, and they'd just decimate the areas. And so lions are key to their environment, of keeping that under control, of keeping a balance within their ecosystem. We should be that same way. We, as men and as believers, for all along, which we haven't been doing, we should have been keeping a balance in our communities by weeding out and culling all of this evilness, by standing up and saying, no, not here, not now, not allowed. But we haven't. We've been allowing it to take hold, and it's reproducing and it's spreading like a disease. And our ecosystems, not literal ecosystems, but our figurative ecosystems, are being depleted. to where they're unlivable for good people. It's time the lions be heard. It's time you stand up. It's time to be strong and to be there for each other. I don't say this to be mean. I say this honestly out of care and concern. But I truly believe that what we are about to face, if you're not strong, and I'm not talking physically strong, I mean, that helps. I'm talking mentally and spiritually strong. If you're not mentally and spiritually strong, you're probably not going to make it. At least the odds are not in your favor. So be doing those workouts. Get mentally strong. Get spiritually strong. Because the evilness in this world is just getting worse. It's not going to get any easier, folks. Guys, it's not going to be easier for your sons to be men. Think of how hard it's been and how much that you've had to deal with in your lifetime. What you've seen change in your lifetime. Imagine what's going to be for your sons and your grandsons. It's not going to get easier. It's time to man up and take your place as lions in your home. Take your place as lions in your communities. Not to allow this evilness in. Patriarchy is not a bad thing. Biblical patriarchy is how it's supposed to be. You need to stand up, and maybe there's not a man in the home. Maybe you're single moms. Well, be that man. And what I mean by that is take a stand. Tell your sons and your daughters that we're not going to allow this stuff in our home. We're not going to do that. We're not going to talk like that. We're not going to watch that stuff or listen to that stuff. Because we are set apart. We are different. Be the remnant that is spoken about. Because if you're not, you may just get left behind. You may just get lost along the way. Because the world is getting evil more and more every day. And I think at this point, it's pretty safe to say only the strong are going to make it. Don't be weak. Don't be diseased. Don't be the one that needs to be culled from the herd. Be the strong one, the ones that can outrun the hyenas, that can stand strong. Be the lion that can fight against the hyenas. Because the things that we have seen just in the last few years, think about this. Just what we've seen in the last few years. 10 years ago, people would have been thrown in jail. People would have laughed. The idea that kind of stuff would be allowed, it's whatever. It's a joke. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's sick and horrible, but it's funny to think that kind of stuff would be accepted in society. And yet here we are. It's time to get your houses in order, folks. It's time to prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. I say that every day. I'm sure many of you are tired of it. You're like, man, is he going to come up with a different saying? I mean, he changed his intro. Can't he change his little say? No. Because right now I can't think of anything else we need to be doing that's more important, is getting our homes, ourselves ready, building our mental, physical, and spiritual preparedness. I don't think there's anything more important right now in our time. Another thing to think of is it's not over yet. A lot of people, oh, it's bad. The end is here. Well, no, it's not. I mean, it's happening, but it's not here yet. I believe we probably have quite a ways to go till we get to that point. We're probably going to see it get a lot worse, a lot worse. So getting your houses in order, strengthening your soul, your strength of your beliefs and your mind and your families and the connectiveness, togetherness of your family and your community is so critical right now because of the things that we will be facing. So getting your house in order, preparing all that kind of stuff, it's very serious right now. This isn't, getting ready for a tornado or hurricane. We're getting ready for the explosion and the letting loose of evilness in this world. So get ready, folks. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.